So it was distractions, just things distracting you away from the fighting game?
It's not like distraction, you know. I moved here from France last year, and then when I came here, I did the mistake, you know, like just rely again on my team in Paris, and then when I get, and team were going very good, but when I get the fight in 6 weeks, so that is when I realized that I need somebody like right away, but they couldn't make it right away. So I had to go back in Paris 3 weeks before the fight, plus all those things around. So it was too much, and yes, and then I think all that kept me in pressure. So that may put me out of myself. So even in the fight, I wasn't myself. I didn't do things like I used to do or like I would want to do. You know, I predict that the fight really start at the second round. But when I watched the fight, the way that I went in the first round, it's not like I used to do. It's not my style. It wasn't the game plan, you know. But I think it was a mess, just the mess up, and then just try to let it happen until we'll be back.
Did you not realize this leading up to the fight? It wasn't until you were in the fight that you realized this had an effect?
I realized it, you know, before moving Paris right away, before go back to Paris, I realized it that is not a good idea. But I didn't have a choice at that moment, right moment. So I had to do something at that moment. So, and then I knew that it wasn't the best thing to do, but it wasn't too much option.
So what changes have you made since the fight?
Try to set up things here, you know, figure out, find some people to work with them here. Like for this training camp, I work almost all my training camp. I worked with John Wood. You know, this is the guy that if I am in Vegas and then they say, okay, you have to do this, you have to do the media tour for tomorrow. You're just going to tell him he will travel with you right away. You will not tell somebody to Paris to travel, to come here and travel with you tomorrow, you know. And that is something that I ignored it, and I didn't do it.
So Wood's kind of acting as your main coach here in Vegas? So John Wood's acting sort of as your main coach here in Vegas?
Yes, so far.
Okay.
Well, can I talk about Derek Lewis and his style, how they see this fight going?
Okay, Derek Lewis and his style. So can you remind me his style first? Because what is his style?
Well, he's a big guy that comes forward, I guess, if that's his style.
Okay, I'm another big guy, but you know, instead to go forward, we will be smarter and go back to the Francis before the last fight. You know, watch my opponent, leave it come to me, and then as soon as he gives me the opportunity, I take it.
You know, you can change and make adjustments after a loss, but what adjustments will you make maybe in your heart or in your mind going forward now?
The adjustment that I did for in my mind, you know, all this is my goal, is my purpose, and then sometimes when thing goes well, yes, there are a lot of people around it, there are a lot of people in it together, and then when you fail, it's your fault. So the adjustment that I did, I just put it in my mind. It's my business. Good or bad, it's my business, and I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna face it.
I think Derek Lewis outside the cage, talks a lot more than you do. It's a very different style of person than you are before fights. What do you think of his personality?
What do I think of his personality? I mean, when he started to talk, I tried to reply, but I realized that a lot of things doesn't make sense. So I won't be like silly, you know. So I stopped. I let him do his thing. Maybe it's his personality, but the guy by himself, I don't know him. So we never know what is behind a fighter until we meet themselves. You know, sometimes it's just about business.
Do you think maybe after the fight you'll talk to him?
I don't know. I don't have no restriction.
He's been wanting to fight you for quite some time. Why do you think now is the right time to do that fight?
He's gonna fight me on July 7th. That is the only answer that I can give. And then if he really do need to fight me, he get me. So we all set.
Are you able to say why you had to go back to Paris kind of suddenly before that last fight? Because I think at the time people were wondering, you know, why is he going back? He should be in the States. The fight is in the States.
I think I just talked about it, but let me repeat myself. I have to go back to Paris because my team was in Paris and I didn't have team yet. And you know, right away they give me the title fight, and then I realized that I need somebody to work with, and that was something that I didn't have it here in Vegas at the time. So that's why I had to go back to Paris.
So you felt you trusted the team back in Paris, and you didn't trust anyone here yet to kind of take you to that title fight, I guess.
You trust someone when you get it, but
right.
You know how you can't trust trust or not trust someone where you don't have it.
Right. It doesn't just happen suddenly. It needs.
I didn't have team.
Right.
So if I had team here and then go to Paris, that would be the matter of trust or something. But I didn't have team, so it's not a matter of trust.
Francis, are you chasing the title or the man? And by that I mean, would you want Miocic to beat Cormier and stay so that you could, you know, go after him and his title, or it doesn't matter who's the champion?
I want both. I want the title and I want the rematch against Stipe. It doesn't matter what happens. I want to test this.
How do you see that fight going different the second time?
I don't know. I don't care about it. Honestly, I mean, I don't care about how he go. I'm just concerned about what I want.
I mean, how do you see your rematch with Stipe?
My rematch with Stipe, I say that I'm gonna fix things, put everything on point, and then get it easier.
How big and how much pressure is on this next fight to get back into the winning circle?
Yes, I feel pressure because it's like go the way back to step back, you know, but I have to do it, you know. I used to. I came from nowhere, from nothing, so I can't complain.
Francis, a lot of people felt that after that first round with Stipe, your energy was depleted. Did you feel that way, and did you feel that was due to the trips that you took to France, that maybe your cardio was?
That was due of a lot of things, and then what a lot of people think, you know, when something happens, everyone has their own opinion, but the real fact is, I mean, it's only you, I mean, maybe the one who were very close who will know the real fact. Of course, I never did 5-round, 3-round fight, but I did like 2-round fight. But this one, even the first round, it wasn't the same. I mean, even step in the octagon, even in the woman room, it was, you know, it was what it was.
So how quickly in the fight did you know that, oh man, I'm not the same energy-wise in this fight? Did you know right away that?
The first round. The first round, and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna take the second round to slow down, to breathe, but he never, my heart, he never go back. He never goes back.
Did you find victory though in going all 5 rounds with the champion? Because I think some people, you know, because you've been finishing your fights so dynamically, quickly, and to go the distance like that, do you find victory in that?
Do I find a victory?
Yeah, that you're able to last the 5 rounds.
The most important is to win. It's not to go 5 rounds or first round. You know, if I have to win after 5 rounds, if that's the only way to win, okay. But I have the win for the first minute, it's okay too.
But you didn't learn anything more about yourself through that battle, that 5-round battle?
I don't learn anything about myself. I do learn something about myself. I never been to 5 rounds, and then the way that I was tired, I realized that I can go through 5 rounds because let's say everything was on point, I would go 5 rounds easier. And then that was something that I didn't, I ignored it. I didn't know how the feeling. I always are concerned about how that would look, you know, if I have to go. But knowing that I get tired like I was in the first round and then keep going until 5 rounds, I know that if I did things well, I'll do 5 rounds easy.
One last one for me. Curtis Blades had said he wants to get a title shot, but if he doesn't get the title shot, he said he'd want a rematch with you. Is that a fight that you think that interests you or that you'd be willing to redo?
I would be okay with that. You know, Curtis Blades is doing well. He will deserve it.